Perfect. Live?
Yeah.
Finally. Sorry we're late. That's I'll probably get written up for that. That's okay. But I was actually working on a we're looking to hire more media people, and so I was just finishing up. We always do a second round of interviews where they actually like come here and do a photo shoot or video shoot with us, and I was just finishing that up. So sorry to make you guys wait for this last installment of the winter preparation video, but we're good to go now. So remember, on the live, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. We'll answer them the best we can. But the car has been 98% prepared for winter. And I'm actually going to ask you guys a question. So on this side, I did everything. I still haven't done the other side. So if you would like, I can leave the other side and we can see the progress throughout winter of like one side that's been prepped for winter and the other side that has not. And if you want to see that, I absolutely will do that. I think it's like a cool idea. Obviously, I don't want my car to get like too screwed up. I don't think it will through one winter, but it might be kind of cool like each week throughout, kind of starting like into this month, going through like January, February, to see like how everything's working, how everything looks and all that stuff. So comment if you want to see me keep it kind of like half and half for the most part. So, but today, the last kind of winter prep thing is just kind of these like final touches. So some of the final touches will be getting tire armor onto my tires. I need to get the spray coating into the fender well. And then I really want to add some anti-fog to the inside of the windshield, just so we can kind of see how that looks. But one thing I did want to do first, I have this towel here, is I want to get some water on the car, and I want to see, you know, the last time I saw you guys, I had applied the spray coating to the car, and then I did the glass coating to the windshield. And so I was just going to spray some water on here and see how we're looking, so we know what we look like going into winter. And my car is like really dusty right now, so I think it'll be kind of a cool visual of like what we achieved the last time I was hanging out with you guys. Make sure this is going. Yep. Okay. So let me just see. I'm going to start spraying this, but I'm going to have to dry it pretty quick because we're in the direct sunlight, and then I don't have the deionizer hooked up right now, but just spray this on here. And oh yeah, it's pretty bright, but can you see that, Teddy? Wow. So all this I've done the spray coating on. Then we had the glass coating on half of the glass here. You can definitely see it on the hood of like where it was coated and where it wasn't. Not too bad. So, you know, for me, like, this is really, you know, and just remember too, like, I have put the spray coating on the windows here, and the glass coating up here. And the reason I put the glass coating up here is because the wiper blades will wear away like any standard ceramic coating that's on like your windshield where there's a wiper blade, like a kind of a abrasive type of thing. So anywhere that I would put the, anywhere that there is a wiper blade, I would put the glass coating, not the standard like spray coating or even the 60 ml bottle of graphene ceramic coating. So you can really see, can you see that pretty good, Teddy? Like the water beads,
Oh, yeah.
especially like up here, I think is like, I can get it so you can really see them. But you can see like how tight the water beads are. So it's just kind of falling off the car. Like this is dry right here because it's just pulling everything off. And so like, even when I get into winter, this is a little trick. I'll kink this hose really quick. And I can, let me kink it closer. I'll take this nozzle off really fast, maybe. And one thing you can do in the winter, you can kind of do this with a pressure washer, but it works probably a little bit better with a garden hose, is I can kink the water hose and then like control how much water is coming out of this. And I can just let the water run here. And then let it fall. And with something that's like super hydrophobic, like a ceramic coating, I can almost dry my car with water. So like this is dry right here. You can see there's a few beads left on here, but I can pretty much dry my car with water. So there's times where, you know, I can just take the garden hose, run it on the surface like so. Even on the side. And you can do this also with a pressure washer by like taking the nozzle of the pressure washer off and running a larger stream of water like this. This is in summer too, but you can kind of do this. Let the water flood the surface. And you actually have less to dry on the car when you get to your drying process. So that's kind of like, that's a very like old school trick that I was taught maybe like 2014, is old school detailers that were mainly using like garden hoses to wash cars, is they would actually take, let me just get this on here. They would actually take a hose, we have a hose that's dead right now, it has a hole in it. So it actually they'll cut this part off with whatever to cut this off, and then they'll cut, it's on the other end of the hose. They keep the part that you can connect, like you would connect to like your hose to the end of this, and then they would cut like right here, and they would cut like a spout. I don't know if you've ever seen like those bamboo like desktop fountains that have like a piece of bamboo and then they like cut, so it's like this long kind of spout. You can do that and add that onto here, and then you can do this like flood method where you can almost dry the car with water. Because, you know, here's the thing, like if I have my air cannon set up and there's so much less water on the car, I could just take the air cannon and blow this off a lot easier because there's not as much water. So it's kind of an old school, like old like OG detailers method that I still sometimes use to this day. And like my towel is like just gliding on the surface. There's just like very little surface tension on here to make wiping my car down, drying it, all this stuff. But I just wanted you guys to see that because, you know, we did all this work with one-step polishing. You know, I made sure to surface prep with like the alcohol wipe that we have for the ceramic coating, and did all this work to get my car ready to be protected for winter. And I just wanted you guys to see the effect it's gonna have. So, you know, like when I get into actual winter, it's gonna be one of those things where, you know, we get a lot of snow here in Denver. And so when the snow hits, you know, the snow will hit onto my, you know, I have a blanket of snow on top of my car. And with it protected, as that bottom layer of snow starts to melt, it will just slide off the car, because then it comes back to liquid form of water. So it's like, it starts to melt underneath, and then you have the snow on top, and it just pulls everything off because the hydrophobic properties of the water want to just slide off and come off of the car. So it will make not only cleaning my car easier, which is really like the main purpose here, but it's also going to make like snow removal easier as well. So there's a lot kind of happening in regards to why you put the graphene ceramic coating and the glass coating like on the surface. So if you guys have any questions, let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm just gonna try to dry this tire off the best I can. Anyone say to leave it half or?
It's mostly protect your car on the other side too.
Oh, people are looking out for me.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, I appreciate it. Okay, I'll do the other side too. And really, I won't, I'll make sure like we go do updates throughout, you know, throughout this winter so you can see how it reacts and how it works. Let me see something really quick. My car is very bright. Kind of hard to see, to be honest. Okay. Let me see if it's over here, but I just need like a seat. Here we go. Okay. Get this over here. Dry this off a little bit. Anybody have any questions? Not really. They're just hanging out today. Let me see. I thought I had one in here. Where did I put those? Oh, here. Grab this. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put the tire armor onto my tires. So tire armor, it's a pretty cool product. Actually, I just need a towel with me as well. Tire armor is like this. It's almost like a protective layer that goes on your car, on your tires anyways. I've explained it to people before, like it's almost like putting a layer of like Elmer's glue, but in a more like car care specific way. Like just so you know, we didn't just put Elmer's glue inside here, okay? But it kind of puts this layer of protection onto your tires, so it makes cleaning them a lot easier, okay? And so what I do this before winter because it significantly makes cleaning your tires that much easier. It's almost like you can just rinse them off, but you can also still put like any type of tire dressing over the top. Granted, you don't really necessarily need to for like quite a while. And so I always do this before winter or anytime there's like harsh weather, but I want you guys to see the process because I think it's a little bit, it's not like necessarily confusing, but I think there's a very specific process to it, and I want you guys to see it. So I have my tire armor here with me, and I have a block applicator, and then kind of the other secret to this is because I have off-road tires, like if I had low profile tires, I wouldn't worry about having this interior brush with me, but I also have one of the small interior brushes. You can use the large one, but I will say this, like once you use this small interior brush for using tire armor, don't use it for your interior anymore. Like this is gonna get kind of crusty because this is like super soft. It's almost like a makeup brush. And so after you use it with tire armor, it gets kind of crusty. And granted, like you can soak this in hot water and like get it back to pretty close to this, but I tend to just say like the small interior brush you use for applying tire armor, keep it for that purpose, okay? And tire armor is somewhat of a self-leveling type of product, and on my tires specifically, you know, there's a lot of people that have these tires, but you know, on mine, there's just so many ridges to it. Like the lettering is raised. This like outside tread is raised. My tread block is a little bit like, you know, raised and beefier than most because they're all-terrain tires, but they're really kind of like all-terrain / off-road. And so dressing these with like just the block applicator is kind of difficult because it will pull up in some of these areas where it's like textured or raised. And so having this brush is really important for me when it comes to putting the tire armor onto these tires. So the way you do it is Um, I'll, you know, in the direct sunlight, so really what you can do is kind of like work in sections. But I'll spray this into the tread block. And the other thing too is like, I'm really gonna kind of focus on, you know, the areas that I can actually feel and touch. If I try to get stuff way down here, it's gonna be a little bit too difficult. So what I would do is I would essentially put tire armor on the tires, maybe a little bit past halfway on both sides. And then once I'm done doing that, then I'll move the car forward, putting the bottom of the tire to the top, and then finish applying the tire armor. And I'll show you how I do that here in just a second. But I like to spray this into the tread first, and then I'll give it a couple sprays into the brush, and I'll start painting it on. And then the big broad surfaces, I'll take the block applicator, spray it in there, and then even it out. So I like to pull the trigger hard and move it at the same time, because if you notice over here, if I pull the trigger halfway, it kind of spits out like that. I want to pull it hard so it atomizes and goes in like all the area I'm going for. So it's kind of like this, and it's going to come out white like that. And I'm going to try to spray it into even all of the raised areas. So kind of like that. Then I'll give it 3 sprays into the brush. And now what I'm going to do is try to paint this into all the raised areas I'm trying to get it into, even in the letters. And I know it goes on white and kind of heavy, but as you continue to like even this out, it starts to almost self-level. And I do personally like the interior brush because the bristles are so soft that it makes it easier to kind of like paint this in. And by the way, if I get it onto the top part of the tread, I'm not worried about it, because as I drive, it's gonna abrade it away. So it's just naturally gonna abrade away on the tread that actually touches the road. And like I got it onto the actual wheel portion, and I have a borderless gray with me that I can just even that out once I've painted this on the best I can. So I'll just take the borderless gray towel and wipe it off those areas. It gets like kind of sticky almost, and I can remove it later too if I need to. But just, this is like a little bit of an involved process. So just, it's better to get it like painted on everything than it is to like not get it perfect, if that makes sense. So you can see it's kind of a little bit textured like on the flat part of my tire. So then what I'll do is I'll just take it, give it like 1 spray onto the block applicator, and I'll take it, and then it's almost like tire shine on and kind of like even it out. And so the thing about tire armor is that once it goes on, you can actually see a major difference from where I've applied it to where I have not at the bottom. And so when you put it on, it's gonna look shiny almost. But just like a lot of our other tire dressings, it starts to, the shine factor will start to fade over time. So, you know, it does look shiny when it first goes on, but it starts to fade over time. So, does that look good? I think it looks okay. So what I would do now is like, I would be done with applying this. I went kind of like a little bit past halfway. I know it's a little bit kind of janky in here. That's because it's hard for me to reach down there unless I like sit on the ground, which I'm not going to. So then what I do is then I move to the back one, and we do the same thing. that. Then paint, 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 paint. And really the painting part is to like get it nice and even in the tread and the raised lettering. This time I'm just gonna okay. Pretty happy with that. Just get some of the excess off. Okay, boom. Like so. Okay, so then once you have, you know, call it half of it applied, set this on my cart. Have my tire armor over here. Then I'll just move my car forward. And really what I like to do is I will, if your car will let you do this, I'll just look at the back as it, make sure there's nothing in front of you, okay? Kind of be key number one. But I'll move this forward slowly.
Here, take it back real quick. You're on my hose.
Okay.
Cut the hose out of the way. Alright.
It's about, does that look right?
Yep.
So we'll do that. Okay. And now I can just go finish it on the other side of it as well. So grab my tools. Try to get as much of the, I just finished cleaning some wheels and tires, so it's kind of wet right now, but it's okay. So now, same thing. I know there's some folks on here that have used tire armor before, and you know, I'd be curious like their take on it, because I was always like a little bit skeptical, I would say, of it. I just didn't really understand the benefits of it. Even, I mean, I work here, so like, you know, I know about it. I just I was kind of like, no, I'm just gonna use graphene tire dressing and, you know, just dress it every time I wash the car in winter. But then like the first time I tried it, I was like, wow, this is actually like pretty sweet. Like it's even like good for like non-winter times too, to make cleaning your tires easier. But you know, I will say, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but you know, when I was starting the winter prep process, which, you know, theoretically the way that I'm doing this video is like, you know, you can do it like I did, where you do it over like several weeks, but really, like, you know, I would do this kind of like in a weekend type of thing. But, you know, you got to make sure that your tires are nice and clean. You know, if they're not super, super clean, you don't want to like lock in the tire blooming or the brown part of your tires. Like, use wheel and tire cleaner or tire and rubber cleaner and like clean the tires multiple times before you apply this product, because having super clean tires is like key to this process. And I made sure, like, on week 1, I think I even addressed it, is like I made sure that my tires were like, you essentially do it where you clean the tires to the point where the foam of the cleaner is white and not brown. And so that was key when I was doing the prep part of it. And that allows me to get to this point where I can put the tire armor on and I'm not putting it over like brown tires. All right, that looks pretty good. They look like nice and black too, which I like. So like that might even be like, I don't know, some people might think it's like a little bit shiny. And I agree, like I think it goes on somewhat shiny, but here in a couple weeks you'll see the shine starts to die down.
How long do you want to wait before the tire armor gets water on it?
I would say a few hours. Like, it's not, you don't need to like let it sit for 24 hours. It's not like a coating that has to cure for 24 hours type of thing. I'd probably give it like at least an hour. You know, it dries pretty quick. I mean, even as I'm doing this, it's like drying, you know. I can feel it. It gets like kind of tacky / sticky. And so it cures pretty quickly. And especially, like, I will say this, like, I'm doing this in the direct sunlight. And so it's even curing faster than you would think. But really what I'm doing now is like, I'll just tell you guys this. These Falcon AT3Ws is like, they're some of the hardest tires to dress in general with like tire shine or anything, because there's all these little like ribs here. The tire, I already talked about this, but really what I'm trying to do is, like, as I look through it, I can see that there's like sections that I didn't quite fully get with the tire armor. So just giving it like a little couple sprays into the brush and then like really brushing it in like this, and then just like taking my applicator and like evening it out really quick and then wiping it off on the tire. I just want to make sure I get like every piece of it, but that looks a ton better. Okay, so rear tire's fully coated with tire armor. And like I said, like next week on the live, like I'll pull this up and my car's dirty. If it's time to wash it, I'll show you. I'll spray it with water and you can see how it reacts. But like that level of shine will probably last for 3 weeks like that. And then like maybe after 4 weeks, it will start to die down. And then it starts to die down like over time. But like still, you'll be really surprised of how long this product like stays looking like what that back tire looks like. Like, it's actually pretty amazing. But I would say, like, you know, I would also say too, like, even if you have an off-road vehicle with off-road tire, not off-road vehicle, sorry. If you have off-road tires, like even having one of these small interior brushes or any of the interior brushes, whether it's the large or the small, having the interior brush is pretty important when it comes to dressing these tires to get it nice and even, because the tread is so hard to get the tire, any tire dressing, tire shine, graphene tire dressing. Having something like this brush to really help that is a very useful tool, even in just like normal circumstances, not just tire armor. These tires for me probably take twice as long to dress than, you know, like a low profile tire, like on a BMW M3, M2, M4, M5, or, you know, a McLaren P1, just, you know, stuff like that. Not that I even touch those cars ever. I have, but not on a regular. Pretty much just need to do one more little section here. People are just enjoying the live today.
Yeah, pretty much.
No comments, huh? That's good. Maybe everyone got like caught like watching it too much, and they're like, boss is like, you can't watch it, so they're like, gotta be silent. Okay. Just one more spray and try to even this out a little bit. Yo, I caught it. That was money. Okay. There we go. How do you feel about that, Teddy?
It looks solid.
It's just like for me, and this isn't like necessarily a bad thing. It's like personal preference. I think for me, it's like it goes on a little too shiny. I think for me, but like I'll sacrifice it going on too shiny now to make the protecting my tires and easier to clean next time. And like I said, the shine starts to fade like over time, but like this is dry right now completely. Like it's not coming off. Like feel that, Teddy. It's like, it still feels like a little sticky. But like it's dry. Like nothing's coming off on my hands. And so like here in another, what, that took us maybe 30 minutes. Here in another like 30 minutes to an hour, like I'm fine to drive this away. But you can see like I definitely got tire armor all on top right here. And like as I start driving on this part, it's gonna wear all this away. So then it will look more consistent just on the side. So I'm not like too worried about that, to be honest. So once I get the tire armor on there, look, feel the tip of the brush now. It's like,
Dang.
yeah, it starts to, and it's like all my hands too. So, by the way, I would recommend using gloves. I forgot. So I'll just have to use some like Boogon maybe. My hands are nice and sticky and shiny. They have armor on them, but whatever. So after I get tire armor on, then I'm gonna take my graphene spray coating, and I like to do this after I put the tire armor on. And now what I'm gonna do is make sure I can spray this, and I'm gonna spray inside my fender wells. So these are all clean for right now. So I'm just gonna take this and spray it onto all my suspension, even my black frame, and mainly the fender wells like this, as much as I can see. And then I'll give it a few sprays into the applicator, and then anywhere I can really reach and even this out, I'm gonna do that. So anywhere I can touch, pretty much for the most part. There you go. There's 5 people. There you go. There you go. That guy I was talking to was the CEO of our whole business, which is pretty cool. Jason, he's like, what are we doing? Yeah, so listen, we're having like internet issues, so I don't know. I think it's like a YouTube issue, to be honest, but Teddy can show you kind of inside here. So like, I just got the tire armor in here, very shiny. We'll tone down later, but like if you look under here, I have the spray coating on here, so I sprayed it on and evened it out, but like I'm not gonna wipe it off because it's not something I can see. Like I can't tell if there's gonna be high spots in here. I don't really care, to be honest, because it's not like an appearance thing on a shiny paint. I really just want to use it for its benefit of the hydrophobic part of it. So once I go into winter and the snow comes and hits inside of here, it's just gonna fall off instead of sticking in here. And here's the thing you have to realize about winter driving is, you know, on the main roads, not only, listen, it's different in every region, especially for like every city, but like in Colorado, they use something called magnesium chloride and sand. Okay, so the magnesium chloride is like a form of liquid salt. So you can see it's like spraying out the back of these big, huge snowplow trucks. And while they're spraying it on the ground, there's like sand shooting out the back. So I know for, and I'm like, no way, because that's the front of your car. And so, but the thing about it is the magnesium chloride they use, it's gonna in areas that you don't see in your car. So if I can protect like my suspension and things inside here, that's a better thing, right? In the Midwest, like Chicago, Wisconsin, Detroit, they use straight up like, I don't think it's table salt, but it's like, it's gnarly salt. It's like straight salt. And I'll never forget, like, going to Detroit, working with GM, working with Chevy Performance, you're driving around the roads, it's a nice, perfect day like this, and like a whole fender on a car, like right here, it's completely rusted out from the inside out because the snow will go in, stick, and then the salt is just sitting there against a metal thing on the inside, a metal fender on the inside, and it just rusts and rusts and rusts. So if I can protect with graphene ceramic coating in the snow, which is frozen water, and the salt goes in there, and then once it's dry, then it all falls off and goes away, and then I can clean it easier. I can get more of the salt and nastiness off of on the underside of my car, like in the fenders and everything. So that to me is like one of the things I love doing, prepping for winter, is spraying the spray coating of my fenders and on my suspension. So it's just like, for me, it's like a really important step in kind of the whole process. Now, the one thing, I want to see if Teddy will be able to see this. I might have to move my car, but it might have to look from this other side. But yeah, let me just move my car for a second. So one thing I need to do is I want to put anti-fog on the inside of my windshield. And the main reason why is because you know, there's times where I turn my car on and the whole front of my windshield is covered with snow. And because of the air coming from inside with the cold on the outside, it puts this like layer of fog on the inside of my windshield. So putting anti-fog allows me to, you know, if I get the snow off my car, off the windshield, and I don't have any fog on the inside, then it's easier for me to leave sooner and in time. I don't have to sit in my driveway and wait for, you know, 5-10 minutes before it's ready to go. So the reason why I'm moving my car is the sun is over there, not that way. And I want you to be able to see the inside of my windshield is dirty, but I also want you to be able to see when I apply the anti-fog. See if I can get this right. Okay, let's see. Should be able to see it from this side. Yeah, so if you can even like jump in here if you want. Just got my Adam's hat. But you can like look through here and you can see, if you see where my finger is. Watch this, ready? A. You see that okay?
Yep.
So like the inside of my windshield is like the what's it called again? It's like the off-gassing from like this material, my seats. It off-gasses, it goes into my HVAC, and then it just blasts the inside, and then it sticks to it. And so there's a couple ways to remove that. One would be with brilliant glaze. We've talked about that many times, but I don't want to put brilliant glaze on here right now because I want to put anti-fog. So I just need to get this clean. But I know that I've used brilliant glaze before. So all I need is a plush towel to wipe this. And you'll be able to see that here in a second. You just stay right there, Teddy. You're just going to stay right there, pal. Let me just get the anti-fog plush towel. And a green glass comes in the kit, so I want to show you guys that. Okay. So the green glass towel is for my for wiping off the anti-fog. The applicator is for the anti-fog. I have the anti-fog here, but for right now I just want this single soft towel. This is like, you know, once you've put like brilliant glaze on the windshield, on the inside of the windshield, just using like a single soft or double soft towel to wipe it off is like really easy. And then when I get to a point where I go to wipe it off and it's kind of like grabbing and sticking, then I would do like the brilliant glaze treatment. But in this case, I'm not, because I'm going to do the anti-fog instead. So I'm just going to take my towel. So it comes in a square. Instead of folding it into a square, I actually fold it into a triangle. So from the opposite corner to the opposite, and then I'll like set it onto my leg, fold one side into my hand, fold the other side into my hand, and now I have like this glove that has the corner sticking out like this. Okay, I've shown you guys this a million times, by the way. I think I get in the habit of teaching so much. So now what I can do is use the back of my hand, but I can shove this into the corners as well. So I'll just take this, shove it into the corners. Can you see it getting clean when you look through?
Yeah, it's cleaning up.
Like versus like over here where I made the A. Is it possible to see it?
Yeah, my eyes might be fooling me, but I think it looks cleaner.
Okay.
You should touch the A outside.
Well, I need to clean the outside to make sure I have it done right, but kind of tough with like the cell phone camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the outside. Okay, give me 1 second. So one thing is when you're doing this kind of like alone, especially when you're doing the windshield, is that, you know, having the outside clean as well as the inside is really important because you need to make sure that, you know, it might look dirty, but it's like sometimes you're like, nope, that's on the outside. So like getting the outside clean first and then working to the inside is important. And so after kind of doing that is definitely easier to see, but still a little bit. That's much better. Okay. I also I'm gonna need a new windshield pretty soon because honestly my windshield's starting to get like really pitted, which means like it's like getting sandblasted all the time. Okay. So that's ready to go. So I'm gonna take my applicator, my anti-fog. And this is like similar application to the burring glaze. So you're gonna try to line this on the outside first. And then you can like fill it in on the inside.
Zero Gravity wants to know if graphene boost would be good for floor mats ever.
Yeah, graphene boost works for floor mats for sure. Yeah, like I tend to use the spray coating because it's a little bit more durable, but the graphene boost is pretty good too. Like I actually use graphene boost for bed liners, like truck bed liners. But yeah, it will like restore the color and make it hydrophobic all at the same time. Again, like for me, like floor liners, like all weather floor mats, getting some kind of hydrophobic protection on them makes cleaning them so much easier. And that's like the key because, you know, if I can just take it out, spray it off, put it back in, like that makes my life so much easier. But anyways, so put the anti-fog onto here. I'm gonna outline the area I'm working in. So go like this, all the way down here, over, then up.
You think there would be any concern of graphene making the floor mats too slick?
Graphene coating won't, but if you use something like a tire or VR, those are silicone based, not silica based or polysilazane based. And so anytime you're using something with a ton of silicone in it, it's not going to work very well. So like I've even had people ask me about like graphene tire dressing. I don't recommend it because like that even has a little bit of sheen to it when you like apply it to something, which is silicone, and that's going to make your mats shiny and slippery, and you definitely don't want them slippery. So like the spray coating, I've been using that for years and that's my favorite. I know it's like a little bit more of an expensive option probably for most people, but you know, I tend to do that like maybe after I'm done winter prepping and coating the whole vehicle, and then I'll just use the last little bit to finish off and do the all-weather floor mats. But we also have, you know, a floor liner protectant, but it doesn't have the same hydrophobic properties that the graphene spray coating has or graphene boost. So, you know, if you're looking to protect them and make them easy to clean with hydrophobic properties, graphene boost or graphene ceramic spray coating advanced. If you want to make them look really nice and like somewhat protect them, not with like these super tight water beads, more of like flat water beads with like a little bit sealant protection, then the all-weather, I think it's called, what's it called? It's like the all-weather floor mat protectant. Rubber mat liner protectant is what it's called. That's fine too. But I think I think for me, like, it's a little bit different with where we live in Colorado. Like, it's not so much of this, like it is to make your car look nice, but for example, this 4-part series is like getting ready for harsh weather. Some other places don't get that, like Florida and California and, you know, maybe a little bit of Texas, Arizona. So like really like the appearance of your car, you can really manage that consistently throughout the whole year. Whereas in Colorado, it's like I'm getting ready because I know I'm going to see those clouds come rolling in from over the mountains and boom, it's going to hit. It's going to snow 5-6 inches. And then, you know, a few days later, it will be nice and I can wash my car again. And I need to make sure that I can do that. And then, like, you know, once I come out of winter, then it'd be like, okay, we're coming into summer. We're now in spring. And like, I know every evening at 3 o'clock, it's going to rain like crazy. And so if it's going to rain every day, then that means I'm going to need to wash my car more often. So like having it with hydrophobic protection makes cleaning it 100 times easier. So that's really kind of like the reasoning of like a lot of my choices and how I approach car care. But like, if you live in an area where it's not, you know, you don't get that kind of weather, then, you know, rubber mat liner protectant is a great product because it makes them look amazing, but you're not necessarily like washing them every week, you know? Anti-fog goes on. It looks kind of like it's sweating. It kind of looks like that when you apply it anyways. Now I'm going to there's 2 sides to this glass towel, which comes in the kit. This is kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. This is like kind of like a shiny side, and this is like a little bit more of a softer side. I'm going to use the softer side, and I'll probably start with it just like square on this one. This one really just requires like kind of a light wipe. I'm not trying to like scrub this off. So I like the softer side because it's going to grab onto more of the product and pull it off and absorb a little bit. And so I'll just take this. Once I kind of get the majority off, then I'll do the thing where I fold it into the corners and have the kind of makeshift glove. But just take this, and I'm barely using the weight of my hand just to like, you can see I'm kind of like moving it around, cutting through it. Okay, now I'm going to flip to a fresh side. Keep going. This takes a few wipes, so it's kind of an interesting product. Like, you'll like wipe it off the initial time and it will almost look like foggy, and that's because there's usually like a ton of excess of this product on here. So what ends up happening is you start like moving it around and thinning it out, so then it almost looks like before you cleaned your windshield. Like, you can kind of see it close to like where I'm wiping right now. But once you flip to a fresh side of the towel and continue wiping, then it will just even out. And then it's kind of a weird product. It's kind of like, you know, you need a decent amount of it like on the inside of the windshield because it's almost like on there. And so the way the anti-fog works is it's like it has hydrophilic properties, meaning hydrophilic is the opposite of hydrophobic. So hydrophilic means like if hydrophobic means like water beads are like, you know, sit on the surface like this, hydrophilic is like flat, completely flat. And so like theoretically, if you make something hydrophilic and it makes a perfectly flat layer of water, then there is no texture to see. And so the hydrophilic properties in this is what it flattens the water out so much that it looks like there is no water on the surface. And so that's the strategy with the anti-fog, is it's a hydrophilic coating, and it works really good, actually, surprisingly good. And I've even used this, like, you know, I take my kids skiing, and like I coated my ski goggles, my kids' ski goggles, my wife's ski goggles with the anti-fog to, you know, but as soon as you like wipe it away like extra hard, then that like coating that you put on with the anti-fog goes away, and then it's not hydrophilic anymore. So you just have to be kind of careful with it. But again, like you're not necessarily like constantly wiping your the inside of your windshield like every week, so it's not going to wear it away super fast. But there we go. That's pretty much done. There's a couple more areas I need to wipe off, but it's pretty good for now. So there you go. Yeah, nice and clear. So yeah, that kind of, you know, I probably do a couple extra things of go through and clean my interior with total interior cleaner, but that's just like everyday things I do, you know. Probably the last thing I would do is, like, if I get to the point of clean my engine, I would probably protect that with spray coating. Same with the all-weather floor mats. I can show that to you guys next week, just like the different options for like all-weather floor mats. I think there's been a few like requests that I haven't quite got to, so I need to make sure we get to that. But yeah, I know it's probably taken a few weeks, but you know, I would say like you could either do it in a day or mix it between a Saturday and a Sunday. But you know, the very first thing we did was clean it with wash it with strip wash to like get any old protection or anything off of it. Made sure we did the clay bar treatment with iron remover to get any bonded contamination off, including like iron contamination. And then one step polish it to like give it to kind of restore the look of what I want it to look like, which is shiny, right? Like it's not perfect, but it's like, for me, it's about 90% perfect, you know, especially with a 17-year-old car. And then after we one step polish it, then it's like, then we put the spray coating onto the paint, the side glass, and then we did the graphene glass coating on the front windshield, and also do it on the back glass because they have wiper blades to them. And then tire armor on the tires, spray coated the fender wells and suspension, and then anti-fog on the inside. So, you know, I think it's been spanned across a few weeks, but thinking about doing like a full edited video to show everybody just some tips on getting your car ready for winter. This is like literally the process I do every single year. I haven't missed this process in probably 5 years. It's been something, I did it the first time, I kind of came up with it on my own, and it works so well for me to clean my car through winter that I can't not do it. Like I know exactly what to expect now as I go into winter right now. So it's very tried and true for myself. And listen, if there's other things that you guys want to try, do it. Like if you want to put the graphene ceramic coating advanced little bottle on, do that. I just do the spray coating because I know I'm going to polish it again in probably April or May, you know. So yeah, that's kind of my get ready for winter process. We'll think of some more topics throughout the next few weeks, but if you have questions, just go back to this video once it's posted, put your comments, put your questions. You know, you can always hit me up, joe@adamspolishes.com. But listen, here in about a month, I will not be wearing a t-shirt. I'll just say that. I'll be having a flannel or a jacket. And so, but listen, detailing doesn't stop when winter hits. Not a question. So as we get into winter, we'll do more winter washing stuff, things you can do during winter. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can do inside. There's a lot of stuff you can do at the pay and spray. And so I want to do that. I'm even considering, we work pretty closely with a company called Auto Wash here in Denver. They have automated car washes, but they're touchless. They also have pay and spray stations, and I think it'd be cool to do a live tour with one of the guys to show us like how it all works. Because I think Auto Wash is a great example of like, you can do all this stuff to your car in the driveway, and then in winter you could take it to Auto Wash because they really do care about the protection on your car. I think they know that people are putting ceramic coatings on their car, so they're very thoughtful about it. So it'd be really cool to learn some more stuff with them, and I'd love to take you guys there to learn that. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope this whole winter prep thing was helpful, but if you have suggestions for another topic, let me know. But we have Black Friday coming up around the corner. We also have something coming up early November that I know you guys are going to love. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'm going to head into being Chris, like neck deep, Chris's favorite band, in Black Friday projects. So I'm going to be, you can ask Teddy already. I'm like already frantic. But that's kind of how it goes. We're getting ready for Black Friday, and hope you guys are going to like it. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.